Okay, we should be live now. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the judges live stream. We have here with me our full panel of judges. There's going to be two more judges aside from the folks here as well, who you'll meet on the day. But today we'll just start with the introduction of the judges we have, starting with Vihar.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Vihar Manchala. I've been in the software industry from 12 years. So I've been working with different retail and travel companies, and my primary focus is on the back end and done front end infrastructure and so on.
Hey, my name is Narendra. I'm engineering manager and architect working for Fortune 100 company. I've been in the software industry for about 16 plus years. So building awesome tech, distributed systems and platforms, and partly I'm a YouTuber too, teaching software architecture. So far exciting.
Hey everyone, my name is Sai. I've also been working as a software engineer, but in Bihar. And I've been in the software industry for over 5 years. I have a bachelor's and master's degree in computer science. And excited for Hackathon.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Aditya Malik, and same story. I'm also a software developer. I almost have like a decade of experience right now with me, and it's whatever.
Yeah, I could. Hi, good afternoon, everyone. And my name is Nathan, and I have like the software experience for over like 10 years. So like I have all the like the bachelor degree and like the master degree for computer science. Yeah, my main focus is on the backend development, but I know that you have like Angular as well.
Awesome. Well, great. I hope everyone could hear all of the judges' introductions. I think we're going to open up the floor now to question and answers or Q&A. So if anyone has any questions, please welcome to put them into the chat for the judges, and we can start with any of those. Awesome. Perfect. All right. And in the meantime, while we're waiting for questions to come in, I think question that I have for the judges is, coming here in Jamaica for the AI Hackathon, what was the biggest thing that you're excited to find and discover while you're here?
So this is first time for me in Jamaica, so heard a lot of things here. So I wanna learn more, the practical use cases here, how ideas are brewed, and then how software industry can help solve some of the problems and help the typical users. And then, I'm very excited to see the thought process in general from this place. So they add the flavor that comes through their the culture and also the regular living here. So I'm excited to see that aspect of problem solving.
Awesome. Okay, so I think we have some questions that have come in. The first question comes from Lex. He says, what's the most important feature for a real-time alert system or real-time experience in your eyes? Is it speed, accuracy, or user experience?
Sure. So the two words, real-time and experience. So as you see, what we're looking for is an awesome experience the user will remember and makes their life easier. To solve every problem they go through. So that's one of the main criteria we look for is the experience, how well your application is delivering that experience. You have seen different kind of experience, a chat-based experience where these days you can see when we use AI, just with the voice, you can execute a lot of things. That's one kind of experience. The very latest, brain-computer interface experience, that's a different one. So in the past, we have seen mobile application experience, desktop experience. There's a different kind of experience. As the tech evolves, these experiences are fine-tuned and innovated by you guys, the future innovators. So we would like to see what new kind of experience you guys can bring it to the table and solve one of the core problems we all experience. The second aspect of that is real-time It's very important. We are in the world where we're in a generation or era where information exchange has become super easy. So how can we leverage these frameworks and protocols which are available for us to exchange this information as fast as possible, as reliable as possible to solve these problems? So essentially, these two factors are very important. It sometimes depends on what kind of use case you take. If that use case asks for a lot of heavy on the experience, so probably we'll evaluate on that way. If it asks for real-time data exchange, probably the weightage goes there. It is a little bit subjective, but these two are very important skills.
Make sure
Okay.
it is accurate too.
Okay. The next question. How do you plan to assess all teams within the time frame?
Yeah, I can take the question. So the hackathon is going to go on for 24 hours, or about 24 hours. So we judges are going to go around the whole hackathon room and continuously evaluate the solutions that the teams are building. And then it's not going to be like a final evaluation, right? So we're going to be evaluating all throughout the duration of the hackathon. So yeah, so the time frame is the length of the hackathon.
Yeah. So from the moment you guys start working on a hackathon, we would want to know what kind of problems you are solving. What is your innovation, creativity, etc. So the judging that starts right from there. So we will be helping, not really helping, but we'll try to understand what you're trying to build. We will help you to find the right coach if you're blocked. That's the only help we can do. But otherwise, most of the work we do is judging and understanding who you are and how are you contributing to your team? What part of the puzzle you are solving exactly? And let's say you might be picking up, hey, I'm going to work on the backend part of the coding, and another member of the team maybe, hey, I'm UI expertise, or maybe I would like to experiment and build the UI part of it. The other person could be, hey, I'm going to do integration part of it or deployment on CI/CD, etc. So we'll be talking to you guys to understand what's your expertise and goal, and how are you solving, what tools you are using, what challenges you are facing. Just on overall, when you are working on to build this, solving this problem, we are assessing you guys. And once your solution is ready, and in the end, we're going to look at a holistic picture of what you have built. So as I mentioned, it happens around the clock. And once you're ready, so we're going to have one end-to-end presentation. Make sure your experiences are accessible to us, either on our device. There are some use cases, maybe it's not possible. Make sure you have a device which is ready for us to use it and experience. At least think we are our customer. We are your customers, and make sure that we were able to experience those.
Okay. The next question is, can we use any tech stack other than the ones listed on the page?
So yeah, I mean, it's kind of like an open environment, right? You can like, select any sort of front-end, application. I mean, tech stack on the backend side as well, and you can explore as many options as you can. And the main goal is like you have to create the end-to-end experience, the real-time experience, which we are focusing at. So as long as the solution is correct, right, and it's like an end-to-end solution which you can demo it should be good. So that's what we are focusing at.
Yeah, if you go to the website, there are recommended tech stack. That's recommended, but it doesn't mean that it's absolutely required to use those tech stack. It's up to you guys. Let's say if you are really good in Python, you want to use Python, go ahead and use it. That's not a problem.
Yeah.
What we're looking at is holistically how your product,
the real-time experience.
experience
Yeah.
essentially.
Okay, awesome. We actually have one more judge who has joined us. So Matthew, if you want to come into the frame, you can come onto the live stream. We have another chair available. It should be coming in shortly. But if you want to introduce yourself to the stream.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Over there. Yeah. All right. So everyone on the stream can say hi to the new judge who's come in. Okay. But meanwhile, I'll move on to the next question, which is how much emphasis are you guys placing on the real-time component of this?
Yeah, so the real-time experience is the major emphasis, just to put it shortly. We want to see if the solution, like Naren actually gave a bit about it at the beginning, but we want to see if the solution solves some problem in real time, and then the experience is real time. Maybe,
Yeah, it has to be an end-to-end solution.
Yeah.
Like, it should be a working product.
either on
An actual, the tech stack being completely used. It's like a front-end app, the back-end app, if you're creating a full stack, right? So it has to be an end-to-end product with the features that will be there showing to us. And that's how we are going to judge.
yeah, so it can be hosted somewhere, and we can
Yeah.
you can give us a URL, and we can like experience it via that, or you can give a device where it's the application is running, and in some cases an application or a mobile application or something where you can go ahead and experience it on the device.
One point I would like to add, thanks a lot for adding all these important points. So real-time experience is what is going to make this whole competition very challenging. So what we want to, let's say you're building a messaging app, we all know we are, but probably if you're building a different experience, we want to see that real-time communication exchanging, either from the client and server or client to client or peer-to-peer, whatever it is. We would like to experience that message, how fast or what is the latency. We would like to experience and see what hacks you guys did it in your backend or code, what optimization you guys have done to achieve that real-time experience. So that's a key challenge here. And as the hackathon itself says, AI hackathon, Intellibus AI hackathon, you are free to use AI tools. The goal is to use the latest technology tools like AI-based LLM models or whatever. Use those tools, but it's not like entirely don't build the solutions around it, but use to solve some of the problems you're going through, and then build the solutions around it. But make sure that the data exchange happens in real time, and we were able to see that and measure it.
And we are looking for clean code as well. So the documentation should be also on very accurate. And I think you should be able to explain it well as well. So we get the gist like what is the exact product.
I think we're getting some feedback that might be hard to hear you, some of you guys.
Okay.
So we're going to see if we can use the mic here. I don't know if this will help. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Okay, now it's much louder. So have you guys pass that around? Okay, let's keep going. If we use non-recommended tech stacks, will that affect our scoring?
I consider it will affect the scoring just to use the tech stack. I think if we're looking for the potentials, we're looking at your idea, your software experience, right? Really look at which technology you are using. It's just for your ability to build the application into it. Yeah.
Okay. Are you guys more interested in seeing us attempt to solve a good business problem or implementing a technical, sophisticated solution?
As I said, right, it's a real-time experience. So as long as the product is like a working product with the tech stack being that's the secondary part, right? Like we don't focus on what programming language you're using or what, how the solution is built is important, but end-to-end flow should be really good. So that's the main thing.
Yeah, probably I can add a little bit. So no problem is silly problem. So every problem we experience is important to be solved. And there are different ways to solve as well. Maybe what solutions we see has been looked at a different perspective. Maybe you guys are next gen innovator can look at probably a different solution altogether. So pick any solution, problems, and then solve them. It doesn't matter if it's a business problem or general problem. It doesn't matter.
So I would emphasize more on the business problem. So you can use the tech stack that helps solve the business problem rather than thinking otherwise, right? Thinking the technology first and doing otherwise. I would say pick the real-time experience that you can provide to solve the business problem, and based on that, you can pick the relevant.
Okay.
I think there are some sample problems have been given on the website, but yeah, don't try to solve only those problems. Probably everybody's trying to solve the same problem, but pick something very innovative, or some kind of problems which everyone is going through, and we may not have solutions yet.
Okay. 1 second.
Let me just, I guess, add to that. Your point really is solution, the problem. Just an advice to the teams to focus more so on the problem. I think an issue we may have at times is where we try to fit the solution. Like we start with the solution and we're trying to fit it to the problem. But I focus on the problem first and then try to find the best solution for that problem. Rather than starting from the solution and trying to see how it can fit on.
Okay, awesome. Are the judges? No, I think we just went over this one. Okay, will there be some sort of elimination round, or will all possibly 100 teams be presenting to the judges?
I think each team maybe have 1 minute to present to at least every two judges. It depends on how many teams we have for tomorrow. Maybe each team has 1 minute to present 2 or 3 judges. Depends on how many teams. But we're going to select the final 15 or 20 teams to have the final presentation as each team will. I think around 5 minutes to present your to do the demo and present your ideas.
I think just to follow up and clarify on that, there's not an elimination round. Every team is going to have at least 2 judges talking to them throughout the entire event, and maybe potentially more. And at the end, few teams will be selected to present to the broader group if they want to.
On stage.
On stage, yes. How will you guys be going about the judging process? Is it a case where it will be continuous through each design and implementation phase? I think this was.
I think we already answered.
Yeah.
But okay, just to add to it, yeah, you are correct. It is going to be like an ongoing process. So right from the start of the hackathon, we're going to be judging teams going around the knowledge room. So trying to understand what it will in each phase, right? So maybe once in every few hours, you would have a judge talk to a few teams to understand what they're doing, and then the publish.
Okay. Will preference be given to the recommended tech stack?
No. So there is the advantage or advantage to the teams using the recommended tech stack. But so that's the recommended tech stack by Intellibus, the hackathon organizers, but you would not be judged based on the tech stack you're using. So you can go use the tech stack that you're comfortable with, but your solution is what we're going to be judging.
Yeah, so a little bit information adding to that. Yeah, you go ahead and use the libraries which are available off the shelf or SDKs available for solving certain problems. That's also recommended. And yeah, so you can use whichever language you like. There's no preference for that.
Okay. How strictly will you enforce the no full AI reliance rule for backend code? Can we use AI for structure but write our own logic?
So we're gonna go around, across different teams, and we are doing this around the clock, right? So that's how we are planning to make sure the full AI usage is not there. So like Naren previously stated, right? You can build modules of code or some components using AI, but since we are constantly evaluating you, we might try to check that. Anything to add?
Yeah, I think in the question it is mentioned that you can use AI for the structure or write your own logic. Both are recommended. If you would like to use AI to write certain piece of code to solve a problem, go ahead and use that. That's not a problem. Or it's always encouraged to write your own code. We would like to see how you write the code and solve the problem. But you can always use AI. That's not a problem. But try to limit it to solve subset of the problem, but not the entire project itself. And that may be discouraged.
I mean, I think so. One thing I want to add was the structure of the code. You know, you can use we all use AI to structure the code, like correctly, or maybe make it more modular or maybe more readable, or maybe, for example, in Java, you can use lambdas instead of, like having a big, like 10 lines of code can be like 2 lines of code. So you can use AI for that, like to optimize, or make your methods run faster or functions run faster. Yeah, you can use AI for such stuff. I would say.
So, like one thing I'd like to add, right? I mean, even if you do use AI, right, you can't just like make an entire like logic out of it and just try and just paste it out and expect that it's gonna run, right? There would be like some of the other issues. It's okay to kind of optimize a code, but definitely not to get the entire blueprint out of it. So definitely, if you do that, I'm pretty sure they're gonna come into like some of the other issues that you will see. So you have to be like smart enough how you're gonna leverage AI in that case.
I think the next question is, does the solution need to have AI integrated in it?
I don't think so. It's mandatory. It's more of like the solution that we're looking for. So I don't think so. It's like AI itself, but I mean, it's good to have if you have like some idea that you're gonna implement with AI. Then you can demo, obviously, but yeah, it's more of how you build it.
Not always required.
Yeah.
Always, exactly.
Okay. Results in an echo. Okay, are we able to move the device closer?
Maybe we can not use the mic, but we can speak directly to the.
Yeah, we just need to have you guys
Yeah, maybe
speak.
we can sit a little bit further.
You guys can come in a
Closer?
bit more. Yeah,
Maybe we can go closer.
it might help also.
Because he'll just trump you. So come sit a little bit closer.
Can we just do a quick test? The next question is how much weight microservices architecture carries in the judging criteria. If someone can try answering that, we'll see if that's better.
Sure, yeah. No, you don't.
We
Oh, you
don't need this
sorry.
one, right?
I think Narendra, they said your voice is coming across.
So I'll try
fine.
it out.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, as we said, right, microservices is something that we are not focusing like if it's a microservices or it's like a monolith app, right? Our end goal is like you come up with the end solution, how good it is, and that's what kind of is important. The real-time experience, as I'm saying, that's the main thing.
Okay. Are there going to be set challenges to solve? Are we presenting our own MVPs? As in, I think the question here is more, are participants coming up with their own ideas, or is there a set of ideas that they're given?
I think the website, I think they listed like the three the questions, but we encourage everyone to come up with their own ideas. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
those are
there-
just an examples to see what kind of problems you can solve, but they may not be the only problems you should be solving.
Yeah, I think one of judging criteria is innovative. So if you come up with like the really good idea to solve the business like the problem, that's going to be a plus.
So
I think-
basically, to answer, they should come up with their own.
Yeah.
MVP.
Yes, and I think there is a question about MVP. Yes, we would like to see minimum viable product so that we can experience what you have built.
Okay. And then it says, how much emphasis is on real-time streaming? Do we need a full Kafka setup, or is a local demo enough?
I think I see where this is coming from. Probably we have mentioned Kafka in one of the examples, but it doesn't mean that it has to be always Kafka. And yes, real-time use cases are encouraged, but it doesn't mean that it has to be always using Kafka or so there is another question about, is it okay to have it only in the local demo? We would encourage it to be, fully functional, fully deployed using CI/CD or Terraform or any tools you would like to on the cloud so that we can access. That is encouraged, but there are times where you maybe invested a lot of time in solving the core problem. Maybe you were running out of time to deploy it on the cloud. That's fine, but we always encourage it to deploy it on the cloud.
Okay. The next question is, do we need to carry equipment for the event? I think this is more a general event question.
Yes.
So for the answer to this is you are more than welcome to bring equipment to the event, things like external monitors and whatever else, but there's no need. The most important piece of equipment though is your laptop. Please do bring your laptop. If you come to the event without the laptop or some computer, it will be very difficult for you to participate.
And another thing is we want you to be in person participating, so you and your laptop is required.
Yeah, and charging cable as well. That is, it's a 24-hour event, so definitely very important. Will you provide AWS credits or accounts, or should we use our own for deployment? If the plan is to deploy to AWS, I believe then you should be using your own accounts. I think there may be the possibility where for certain teams they can request credits at the event. So do reach out to one of the organizers if that is a need for your application. If you, for example, don't have the ability to create a free account or run out of credits or need something specific when it comes to AWS credits, reach out to the organizers and we'll see if we can get something sorted. I think the next question is, what's the minimum database functionality you expect? Should we just store user reports or also query them for the demo?
I think this is more of a use case. There is no general answer or guideline to this. So if your use case requires you to store the data and then query and pull it and to show the real-time experience, absolutely it requires both. But otherwise, if a use case is about storing the data and then persist it and do some other experimentation or solving the problem,
Yeah, I think we encourage you to build the views if you want to present the data. So instead of presenting it as a query, you can probably show as a user experience or a view to basically see that data instead of doing a query and.
So the end goal here is to have a good user experience.
I think it's
ask yourself the question: is pulling the data on a query, is it a good user experience or not? Again, it's up to you how you want a solution, build the solution. But always focus on the user experience, how easy you can make it.
One more point to add is your solution may not need a database itself to start with. So there is no minimum database functionality we expect if the solution is good enough, right? If your solution what you're trying to build has a real-time experience which amazes us, that would be it.
Okay. Okay, it says, I'm not interested in the prizes, but just for my idea to come to life. So if we are a beginner programmer, will assistance be given to create our platform? I think this is maybe because a lot of the answers we've been giving, I think, are more geared towards some of the experienced programmers. So I think the question is, if somebody is a beginner, sort of how does, what are we looking for when it comes to judging, and what other assistance or help are they being given?
Yeah, I think it's mentioned that you're not interested in the prize. The goal is not only get the prize, that is one of the major outcome of this event, but it is to collaborate and learn and experience different tool sets around. And absolutely, we have a lot of coaches here. And if you need any help, judges, we ourselves will not be able to help you, but we will help you to find the right coach who can actually help you to solve the problem where you're stuck. That's always there.
And if you're a beginner you want to
if I could add something on that. My advice to the participants is your most important focus should not even be so much on the prizes or even the jobs. Use this as an opportunity to learn new things and to meet new people. So I'd say your priority should really be on that more so on whether I'll win a prize or get a job.
I wanted to say exactly the same thing, even more so because if you're a beginner programmer, this is like a great opportunity to come and talk to other developers around you and talk to the judges, coaches, and and you build your network, like you said.
Yeah. So added to that, right? So if you look at the prize or different categories of prizes there is one about where you can join the academy and then learn more. It's not only about the prize. There are chances for someone who is really passionate about learning. There are possibility of identifying about 60 candidates to be part of the academy to learn even more things what you love to do.
Yeah, awesome. Says, do our solutions have to be white label, or can we present a solution currently under development for an existing client with their branding? I think
this is tricky.
This is tricky. Yeah, I think part of the, let's say, rules of the hackathon, I think that it's mentioned on the website, but the idea is that we should be building the software during the hackathon.
During the hackathon.
Right.
From scratch, right?
From scratch.
Well, from scratch is in quotes. I think that one of the things we had mentioned on the earlier Q&A is that libraries and SDKs are fine,
They can
but bringing full applications to the hackathon is strongly discouraged, and I think the judges will be checking.
There's no fun in it. It's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we would love to see how you hack it, like either in the code, UI, or database. We definitely would like to see how you optimize and write a minimal code. It could be, it's fine, but how do you hack? We would like to know that.
Awesome. It says, this will be my first ever hackathon. What advice would you give to someone completely new to such events?
I think the previous question answers are it's pretty much the same, right? Like come here to learn something new, build your network, learn from your coaches, right, and your peers.
And you'll be working in a team, so you'll be getting to learn from others as well. So that's going to be a big plus point.
Yeah, don't be afraid to ask questions. You know, if you're unsure about something or you want to learn something new, please ask the judges, ask your teammates, interact with other people at the hackathon so you can learn.
The fact that you signed up for hackathon is already a biggest accomplishment, so that you will get to meet awesome minds here, and then how they saw the problem, how they approach those problems, and build using what kind of tools or different set of tools. Probably you may, the takeaway from this hackathon would be something you alone sitting and studying for a month, probably just get it in a day. And you get to meet a lot of people, where you live, or again, online, you can always be in touch and then learn more and build, probably, you never know, build a startup as well.
And we are looking for people who are more encouraged, or more excited to do this work, right? Where they are trying to explore the coding and all the aspects of this hackathon. So there are programs of the academic program, where they'll get a chance to learn even more after that once the hackathon is done. So you can explore those options, right? So that's where you can get to learn.
And if you come out to the hackathon not winning any prizes, please don't go home feeling depressed or dejected. As the other judges have said, just being here is an experience in itself, and it's a learning experience. So what you take from this you can use in the rest of your life and your career going forward.
Yep. Awesome. I think because this question was asked when the audio was not as good, I think there's someone is asking if we can repeat the answer about the AI reliance. So how much can the rule on the website, I believe, says that fully AI generated code without any human contribution is not allowed.
Yes.
So I think just how is that being factored into the judging criteria?
No, I think we answered it pretty much, but we're going to repeat the same. We encourage you to use AI tools when you're solving the problem. Yes, so if you're, again, it's about divide and conquering the bigger problem, right? So you will be making it into chunks of problems, and take this chunk of problem, try to write a code all by yourself. You can use it to restructure your code, optimize your code.
Yeah.
That's well and good.
Use as an
for testing
assistant.
it,
Yeah, use as an assistant.
Use as an assistant rather than.
It should not be the one who should be writing the code.
Yeah, don't be an assistant to UI, rather.
You
Yeah,
can't
use
be
AI.
completely reliant on AI, so that's going to be a very problematic thing because you won't get any output out of it.
Yes, we would like to see who you are than what AI can do, but you can always use AI.
And I think this was something that was also asked on DevPost. I think the answer on DevPost is very similar. It just clarifies that if you're a beginner, for example, coming to the hackathon, we understand that we're not expecting you to learn all of Java in one night and also produce a working real-time experience. And so the idea is that human contribution is something as simple as making sure it's your idea that is being realized in the code, whether that's through an AI tool or you writing it by hand. The thing that we're wanting to avoid is people coming with a pre-prepared hackathon prompt that just auto-generates and builds out the entire application and then going home. So that's definitely something we don't encourage. But if you're coming here and you have an idea and you have a real problem that you care about and you think that the best way to do that is to just use a bunch of AI tools, stick together the solution to that problem, that's more than encouraged. Do you require the solution to be 100% functional?
Yes, in general, that's what we were talking about, experience multiple times. Yes, we would like to see the experience 100%. You pick your battle, like you don't pick too many use cases and then not able to finish any of that. Pick the right set of use case or problem which you can build it in 24 hours and try to finish end to end instead of picking too large use case and end of the day, hey, I have finished it, but only I was able to run it on local, but I was not able to build the CI/CD and deploy it on the cloud. Instead of that, make the solution very compact and easy and innovative enough to build it end to
You
end.
can build on top of it. If time permits, right, even if it's a small MVP product, right, you can still build on top of it and make it even larger, and that's something that you can give it as a final result. But the smaller you start, the 100% functional, that's what we look for.
Yeah, so we would like to see 100% functional. We would encourage it to be deployed on the cloud so that we can access from our devices.
Yeah.
That's
The
what
more you make it easier for us, the better the it gets.
That's
for
the
everyone.
experience.
Exactly.
Yes.
I think we encourage the people to start from small and the end-to-end function is working and build on top.
Yeah.
top
Start
of
with
it.
an
Yeah, but
MVP
if
can-
you cannot finish the end-to-end, but still you need to present it. We're still based on your ideas, so we can still do the presentation and build
It's
it.
rather having a lot of scrambled code and showing us this is not functioning, but just we wrote so much code. What point does it make, right? That's just coming up with a code and just telling us hey, we wrote this the entire time in 24 hours. But if it's not functional, it doesn't make any sense.
Okay. The next question is, how many teams do you plan to select for final judging and presentations, which I imagine means presenting to the entire audience?
Yes, I think we have a limited time, to judge and for the presentation as well. So for now, we haven't finalized the total number of teams. Based on the time availability, probably we can see anywhere between 12 to 15, maybe. That's what we are looking at. Probably these numbers may change based on the availability of time.
The number of teams as well.
Number of teams as well, yes.
Okay. And then how do you plan?
Sorry, just to clarify, everyone gets to present to the judges.
Yeah.
Finally, the fully completed solutions. But on stage, what we are looking at
presenting
is,
to all participants.
all participants is around 12 to 15.
Around 12 to 15, yeah. And then how do you plan to stop persons from pre-building projects?
So that's where we use our expertise and our tools to evaluate whether it's pre-built project versus something which is built. And also we will be engaging with you guys throughout the day,
you do need
looking
an
at how you
explanation
guys
as
are
well.
building
Yeah.
it.
Like how are you doing it, right? We want to see what's been written
Yes,
down.
that's what is important, like how you approach that solution. How are you really solving it? It's
Exactly.
like, are you simply copy pasting it from somewhere, or are you really putting your thoughts and mind
Exactly.
into that to solve? Or how are you collaborating with your teammates, or maybe did you take coaches' help to do that? So we will be engaging with you guys over full day. So don't think judging is only happen in the end of the event where you will be presenting to us. So we'll be engaging with you, try to understand you guys. We won't be disturbing you, obviously, but we would be, constantly with you throughout the day, evaluating you. So, yeah.
So on that note, I think it's not just about the end solution. I think being able to describe that process, that software development process from full end to end, there's also value in that, and it's important that you do that as well.
Yeah, and I think one of the other things is just for clarity, we have for anyone who's shortlisted by the judges to actually win a prize, we ask that their code is available on GitHub so that we can review and audit it and double check to make sure we have a automated process there that checks and verifies that this code was written during the hackathon.
Yep.
for
So
example.
AI can tell AI written code, simple.
Yeah. Well, simpler than that, we're looking at a bunch of different things about the Git repo, but we want to just make sure that that acts as a final check on top of whatever assessment the judges have been doing.
I think we encourage the consistently the checking your code, do not wait to the end to checking your code.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's
yeah.
a very
That's-
important part.
That's very important.
So just make sure you're consistently checking your code in to GitHub throughout through wherever you're managing source control throughout the competition. Okay. Should it be hosted? Is the next question. Should your solution be hosted?
that's the end-to-end experience. So
Yeah,
it's
I
on you.
think we touched upon this multiple times. Yes, so the theme is to have real-time experience. So we would like think, as your customers, whatever you build, we would like to experience. Probably if that experience is so seamless, maybe you don't have to present it at all. Like it should be that seamless for us to understand. So yes, we would like to see it hosted using fully automated pipeline, CI/CD or something. Whatever tools you guys want to use, absolutely encouraged.
And if it is an iOS application or Android application, and if you find difficulties, uploading to the store, like App Store, then maybe you can present it to the device, present the device to us, and we can test it out. But even then, you can host your infrastructure to the backend, infrastructure to the cloud,
And we don't discourage about, since if time doesn't permit you to not host it, right, you still can present it in a very good way, and that would be still considered. Right?
Consider, yeah, but there are, it's
aspects
always
of it.
encouraged to be.
Encouraged to be hosted, but yeah, that would be the end.
Yeah. Okay. Can we bring pre-installed tools, VS Code, Kafka on our laptops? So must be set up everything on site. I think this was what we had said earlier. Libraries, SDKs, installing software beforehand, very much recommended and encouraged. No full applications, obviously. I think. Next one is, are the judges available outside workshops for quick questions or only at checkpoints?
So it depends what you want to know from us. So during the judging process, maybe we may not be help or discuss on project-related things, or maybe we may not be able to give you enough pointers. But definitely after the judging is done, we are available here for you guys to, talk to, and then if there's any help required or mentorship required, absolutely we are here.
Awesome.
So I think there will be coaches and mentors at the hackathon, so you can always ask them. So.
Yep. Can the Git repo be initialized before the day to add relevant libraries and SDKs in advance? Then the application is really built out during the hackathon. Yes, the process we're using to do the audit and verification is going to check all of the commits on the Git repository. So you can do some initial setup with libraries and SDKs, and we'll know by looking at the Git history, basically. What was developed during the hackathon, what came before. Again, the recommendation is do this as little as you absolutely need to, because the harder it is for us to verify, the more difficult it will be to make sure that you qualify for the prize, basically.
Yeah, the goal is to hack within now.
Yeah.
The fun starts when you have a tight deadline, and then you try to build some things which are innovative, but with some hacking, right? That's what the whole theme is about. Instead of pre-build and then bring it and then do it easily, but we would like to see, hey, how can we efficiently build something in a short duration of time? That's the whole point of hacking, right? So.
Okay. And then can we use simple backend tools like Firebase or Vercel for cloud aspect of the tech stack, or do we need to use major tools like AWS, Google Cloud, or Azure? I think this is more broadly the tech stack question that we've been answering, which is you're welcome to use any tech stack you'd like, just that the tech stack that we've described or recommended online is more just our recommendation, because the coaches and judges can all help and assist with, at least with how to set up those tools and how those tools work, describe the basics of them. Okay. Are we supposed to program to solve a current issue? I'm a part of a team full of students, so we would like clarification. I think this was, Narendra, going back to your point, which is that no problem is too small of a problem. So when we're looking for real-time experiences that people are building, they can be about current issues that you're facing. It can be about a past issue you have faced. It can be about anything where you feel that there is a broken experience. Even if there's a very predominant player out there in that space that has a great solution, if you think there's something wrong with that needs to be fixed, and you just want to build a solution that fixes that one thing, and you do it really well, and you show that it works, and it works in real time, that's what we're looking for. All right. Are we penalized if our Kafka streaming has slight delays due to local setup?
Yeah, I don't think so. Kafka will have some delay if we have a local setup, but we would like to see real-time experience. But definitely, the coaches can definitely help you to resolve those things, I believe. But in general, we would like to see the real-time experience. But
And also, we would prefer putting on a real server rather than a local setup.
But
Yeah, that increases the
this
that
is like
improves the experience.
very specific to Kafka, but yeah, it could be applied to any different technologies as well. But we would like to see more real-time experience.
I feel like you should not be spending more time on aspects which are like if there are issues with Kafka and all, right? You have to be innovative at that point of time. If you are leveraging a cloud solution, right, and that can just easily give you a plug-and-play solution, so that's also something can be helpful. So you have to analyze that and you have to make the solution more robust.
I think Kafka was given as an example. It doesn't mean that you always have to use Kafka as well.
Yeah.
But in general, if you're stuck, we always have coaches. They can
Correct.
definitely help you to resolve this issue. But in general, we would like to see as real time as possible.
Yeah, because the time is short and you can't just spend time analyzing and fixing issues.
And then there's another question: can we buy the domain beforehand? I think if people want to host their solution on a domain.
I mean,
I
yeah,
think so.
there's like a lot of ways.
In
right?
general, I think, yeah.
I
So
mean, there's domain that you can purchase. For me, I personally prefer I can just host it on a GitHub pages. I don't even need
Yeah.
that. And I can just have that. So that's like something that I can come up with.
Yeah, I don't think they necessarily have to buy a domain.
Yeah.
yeah. So
That's
you
one
can
thing
get
that
free
you can
domains.
see. Yeah.
yeah. Let's say if you're hosting on an EC2 server for simplicity, that is
Yeah.
always have a domain.
Yeah.
That's more than enough.
Maybe
What
a
we're
random
looking
generator
for is not the domain specifically, but the solution, the solution itself and the
End-to-end solution.
experience.
Yeah.
So no points for domain.
Yes.
Yeah, let's make it that way. Probably it helps. We don't want to waste $2 on that.
Yeah.
I think the next question is: if we hit the 24-hour limit with an incomplete but functional app, will you judge potential over polish?
Yeah, so actually here, one of the criteria is how you execute the project, how the technical execution is done. So we'd like to see the full solution by end of the 24-hour.
That's the reason we said MVP, right? Like if you build something smaller, we see an incremental progress. So something that we have already built, I think that's something that we should be presenting us. But we don't focus on something that's like, that's not polished enough and just like, you might have done it very well. But if it's not presentable, I think that's something that we might not be considering it as a complete solution. So that doesn't consider as a real-time experience.
Yeah, maybe we can, it's weighted,
Yeah.
so probably it's working 95% of the time.
Yeah.
Maybe 5% of the time there's some issue. Maybe we'll still consider with the weights added to
I
that.
think the
probably.
CD pipeline is like the one of judging criteria. You may lose some points on that one, but still, if the other thing like the works fine, I think it's still like the point.
Yeah, it's not totally disqualified or anything, but it will be still weighted.
I think as well it's important for teams to scope their solution or the problem that they're solving, so that at least that way you have a more realistic chance of coming together with a polished solution versus trying to solve the most grandiose problem and then ending up with a lot of broken code.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It says, if we show a live demo with a real-time user interaction, will you overlook minor UI glitches if the backend is rock solid? I think this is a backend developer asking.
Yeah.
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 Again, I think we're re-answering
Reiterating a little bit, yeah. I think
the
the goal is, I think, as the judges have kind of been mentioning, is that it's about a cohesive real-time experience. So, if the back end is, even if it has one less piece of functionality, but that little bit of extra time made it so that we fixed the minor UI glitches.
I
That's
think
totally
Sai was mentioning in earlier discussion, it's quantity over quality.
Yeah.
So
So quality. So if whatever you have should be of good quality, and we don't expect you to like have a lot of features, but few features work really well and few features like not so well. But if you have like few features which solves a real problem and then which are working really well, that would be like solid solution, which gets like good score.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I'd advise to the teams, don't focus so much on creating the most fanciful UI with all these, fanciful features. I'd focus more on getting something that works and solves the problem, and then if you have time, then maybe you can add the fancy stuff.
So should we say no scores for CSS?
I think UI, if you have like the beautiful, fantastic take UI is a plus. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I think there's another more logistics question for the hackathon, but it says, will bedrooms be provided for teams as the event will be 24 hours? There's a designated sleeping area. There's not bedrooms necessarily. And then there's, in the hall, there's obviously space to rest. We just ask that there's a limited availability of the sort of materials that are there for the rest, the limited spots in the rest area, basically. There's a dedicated rest area, and then you're also welcome to rest in the main hall. In the dedicated rest area, there's limited spots. So, and in the main hall, there aren't sleeping bags or anything. So we would recommend that if you do intend to rest during the 24-hour event, that you bring some sleeping bags, blankets, pillows, whatever else you need to set yourself up in the main hall if you feel like that's something you're going to need. Otherwise, in the dedicated rest area, it's going to be a sort of rotating area where people will take turns sharing. So that's a bit of the logistics there.
Do we have coffee available for the 24 hours?
We do. We have coffee available. Yes, there's coffee available. And if the coffee we provide is for any reason not up to par, there is a Starbucks in the hotel, but you have to pay for that one. That one isn't free. So, and I think that is all of the questions, and we are definitely well over time for what we planned. But thanks everyone we got one last one in. Just very quickly, is there a reward for building a distributed backend across multiple AWS regions instead of a single EC2 instance? I think I'll answer this one very briefly on behalf of the judges here, but stability is one of the things we look for, software stability. So if this is a requirement to make your software more stable for the 1-minute demo that needs to be provided, then and you can show that really helped in that 1 minute, then I'm sure the judges will take that into consideration.
Yeah, disaster recovery is important, but maybe
not for 24 hours.
So yeah, try to deploy it on one region. If you have
First.
time, maybe you can deploy it in multiple regions. So try deploying.
So
one region
availability, just make it available in this area, just this region, right?
Yeah, all it has to work for probably 5 to 10 minutes if that's good enough and it's working for that 10 minutes. That's more than
I think
good
you
enough.
can mention that in your presentation you said this one is for the scalability and fault tolerant, but you don't have to deploy into multiple regions.
Yeah. Okay. All right. And then the last thing is how much time is allotted to the presenting teams. So there's two different times when you may be asked to present. One is when the judges are seeing what you've built at the end, and there'll be 2 judges who come to every team. You have around about a minute is allocated. It can go up to 2 minutes, but 2 minutes is the hard stop. And then there is, if your team is then selected to be one of the teams presenting to the entire hackathon participants group, it'll be about a 5-minute hard stop is what we're currently planning for. But thanks everyone. I think that's all for all of our judges. We'll give a quick round of applause to the judges. And hope to see everyone at the hackathon tomorrow.
Yeah,
tomorrow
we're
morning.
excited to meet you all.
Yeah,
All right.
definitely.
Awesome. Thanks everyone.
Thank you all. Bye.
Bye.